Peace and black global power. How's everybody on our black revolutionary planet? This is Brother Azebo again, and with my Pan-African garden. I haven't been with you in a while because I've been busy trying to maintain, like every black family and every black person on the planet living in a white world. As you can see, my garden is still flourishing, but it's flourishing without with the usual problems of proliferation and growth. My cherry tomatoes are really flourishing and growing, thriving, I would say, would be a better word. I don't know if you saw any of my other videos about my Pan-African garden, but the reason why I call it my Pan-African garden is because I ran across a video of some black folks in the UK talking about Pan-Africanism is dead. And I disagree with what the brothers and sisters were saying. And there was a few videos made of the issue that has Pan-Africanism died, or has it just has it been non-effective worldwide in terms of African people, black people? I disagree. I think it's evolving just like everything else on the planet. It's changing along with the planet. And for black folks to come out and say Pan-Africanism no longer exists is, I think it's a sin against the existence of black people on the planet Earth. And I think it's covert manipulation, and is anti-black, is anti-African, and we have a lot of coonism going on like that throughout the whole world. Is because these people have brainwashed through the education system, westernized education. They have brainwashed a lot of our people, and they take on the attitude, if you can't beat them, what? Join them. Exactly. So I'm not giving up, and I hope you don't give up either. You know, back to my Pan-African garden. As I was saying, the cherry tomatoes are really doing this thing. I was making some spaghetti, and I didn't have spaghetti sauce, so I just came out and got me a few cherry tomatoes and made my own organic cherry sauce, cherry tomato sauce. The plant is doing great, but it's morphing and transforming into something else. Wow, this growth, I'm understanding this growth. The growth is actually the communication of the plant itself. And by the way, this is my first garden. And this is a separate cherry tomato plant over here. It's separate from the other cherry tomato plant. This is my cantaloupe plant. It's going crazy also. They're growing out into, they're growing into like vines. And I know why they call it a wild, because if you don't train these plants, they'll just grow anywhere, you know. You have to train them as they grow. You have to train them. It's just like a little child. You train them in the way that you want them to go as they grow. I don't know why, but it's the whole thing about training and education, so on and so forth. While my aloe vera is just getting totally ran over, I'm gonna have to cut some of this stuff back, because it's just going crazy. This is my my ginger plant. It's just totally ran over by the cherry tomato plant. Their growth is really fast, and it's just the growing rate on that cherry tomato plant is ridiculous. Now we get to my peppermint, chocolate mint plants. Not doing too good. Sometimes you can tell when a plant needs water, and you can tell when the plant is doing something else. Chocolate mint. It's coming along, but it's not as healthy as it usually is. I guess it's going through a cycle just like everything else, evolving. Now we get to my, you remember how small the sunflowers were? Now check them out. These are plants that come from a little baby seed. Look how big those stalks are. Look at that. Wow. Look at that. Totally grown over the up to the roof of my porch. Wow. Look at this. This is my Pan-African garden. My first garden, as a matter of fact. Look at this. Wow. Look at that. Now I know why they call it sunflowers. Because it looks almost like the sun. It looks like the sun. They are beautiful. I wanted sunflowers. I wanted the seeds. This one right here is having some kind of problem, growth problem, and the problem stems from here because it's a malfunction in the shape of the plant itself. Something is gone wrong and made it shaped like that. It made it shaped like that. It's interesting. But I am learning a lot from these, from this first garden. I'm learning a lot about nature, and this type of knowledge you just can't get from textbooks. You know, you have to do it. You have to experience it for yourself. Again, back again, my cherry tomatoes. The center of the bush itself, or the vine / bush, is dried out. The leaves are dried out, but the cherry tomatoes they stayed on. They stayed on, but the center of it, as you can see, is dried out. But it gets back green after it extends itself beyond the boundaries that I originally planted the baby seeds, the seeds. It's hard to believe that something that large can come from a seed, but that's nature. It's nature for you. Wow. This is a sunflower seed that I grew off to itself. And as you can see, it's following right behind the rest of it, but it hasn't totally opened up yet. As you can see, wow. But I can see it opening. It is opening, but it's gonna take a while. I would say in a few more days it'll be all the way open. But it's coming along pretty good. It's pretty healthy. A Joshua tree bit the dust. So there it lay, and there is the burial spot to where I planted it originally. And I stopped watering it, and just wanted to see if it was going to catch on and survive on its own. But look at the area around it. Since I stopped watering it, it dried out. It's been going 103, 104, 105. Sometimes it reach up to 113 out here in this high desert. Yeah, this is my watermelon plant, and so far I've produced 10 watermelons. I gave them all away, but these are the second. I would call it the second litter of the watermelons. I was listening to Dr. Sebi talking about how watermelon are rich in alkaline. This one is really growing. It's really getting huge. Wow. Yeah, it's really getting huge. And I gave them all away, and it's these are the ones that were left over, and they've grown fantastically large. Yep. And this is my zucchini plant. Went through a total recycle. Now it's become fertilizer for next year's crop. It's just, I will just grind it up and make it a part of the soil itself. This is the living part of my zucchini plant. From my Pan-African garden. Like I said, this is just an experiment to see how well I could do in planting different varieties of fruits and vegetables, rather than going to the supermarket and depending on GMO products. This vine is just growing like crazy. Wow, look at that. Wow. And this vine over here is attacking the tree. Attacking this tree. Look at that. It's grown all up into the tree. It attached itself to the tree and it's growing inside, growing in the tree itself. Look at that. And it's these little things right here it's these little things. I don't know what that is, but I guess it helps the plant to hold on to whatever it grabs a hold to. Look at that. Wow. Nature is amazing. And see, you see that flower right there? That flower will become an actual watermelon. That flower will become a watermelon. Check this out. This is a flower, and you see a watermelon growing right there. That's a watermelon. That's a baby watermelon. You see the flower and the watermelon. So I'm learning a lot, you know. This video is a video about black sustainability, which is really Pan-Africanism. But it's just another way of saying Pan-Africanism, dealing with Pan-Africanism. Just another way of saying it. Sustainability is Black nation building. Oh, look at that. That's a watermelon growing right there. I don't know what kind of tree this is, but guy came over and chopped these trees down because they were dying. Or at least they looked like they were dying. But and as soon as the weather changed, they started growing like this again. So actually, the trees wasn't really dead. And really, when you look at it, nothing really dies. There is no such thing as death per se. Nothing really actually dies. It just changes form. Energy, I was taught energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed, or it can only transform. And that's what we're going through now with these trees. They wasn't really dead because all of the energy wasn't out of them. As soon as they chopped down the larger parts of the tree, this is what grew back. Even that tree right there, even that tree, it looked like it was dead, but look at it now. It's come back. It's grown back at an exponential rate. My pride and joy is my watermelon patch. I don't know. When I get to Africa, I think I'll do watermelons and probably do a cash crop like cocoa beans and coffee or whatever, because I think that's what's gonna give us back control of Africa, by controlling the food source, the organic food source, because the Caucasoid is putting all kinds of chemicals in their food and water. And if we go the opposite route, just think of how good we could do. We could do the world a lot of good. Those are my greens that I pulled up, or at least that I cut. Just like the vice president said, which was Obama's vice president during the Obama administration. He said, you will rule on this. Mark my words, you will rule on this. And what I'm trying to say is that there's going to be mile-long lines at grocery stores with soldiers at the door, because it's going to be a lack of food. How can there be a lack of food in a land of plenty? You tell me. It's how the Caucasoid operates. It's their mode of operation. Believe that. Wow. I am proud of my first garden. There go my little friend again. Oh, he's gone. He's got a lizard that hangs out in my garden. He keeps the insect population down. So that's a good thing. But I am so proud of my garden. Very proud of it. And I hope you join my movement, the AWF, which is the African World Front. We are repatriation